3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed. And once you get the support, your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to the midweek edition of Inside Nigeria. Today is Wednesday, August 10, 2022. My name is Bode Padibo, and as usual, every Wednesday, we have guest analyst Jide Ojo joining us. And of course, Jide Ojo is an Abuja-based public affairs analyst and a TV host. Good morning, Mr. Jide.
Good morning, Ashwaju Bode Padibo.
Welcome to Inside Nigeria.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
I think if Ohaneze Indigo members see you today, I don't know what would be their reaction.
The culture ambassador.
Okay, culture ambassador. Okay, you are not impersonating. That's a good one. All right, viewers, as usual, we shall take you through what the front pages are saying, and as well have a discussion about the trending issue of the day. We're starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. On the front page of Leadership this morning, INEC exonerates staff over PVC dumped in streets. INEC exonerates staff over PVCs dumped in streets. Political parties, CSOs ask Commission to unravel mystery, vow to ensure effective monitoring of 2023 elections. Elections will hold next year, military assures Nigeria. I think it's important I start with the last rider to this story. Elections will hold next year, military assures Nigerians. And I don't know why this feeling that election might not hold in 2023 in the first place. Why do you think people are apprehensive? The election might not hold.
Well, naturally, given the state of insecurity in Nigeria, there is that apprehension that the 2023 election may not hold. Unfortunately, we have a scenario where some elder statesmen who are lawyers are also calling for interim government. Buhari should not hand over. He should sort out the issue of insecurity. I mean, eminent Nigerians like Ali Rivada Babala, another senior lawyer, making that call. Robert Clark essay. Yes. And I was shocked because these are elder statesmen. These are people who knew what we went through in 1983 when Abiola's electoral victory was truncated, and a court of competent jurisdiction pronounced interim government as illegality. And it has never found its way into our constitution. So why would they be calling for postponement of handover date?
I think for Robert Clark, he was asking Buhari for tenure extension, that Buhari can stay for another 6 months.
That's what I'm saying.
But
whether
Babalola,
it was interim,
they want Buhari to go and have an interim government in place.
So irrespective of the two positions, they are anti-democratic and illegal. But the general feeling of maybe election will not hold is based on insecurity that is said to be pervasive. But with the successes that have been recorded in the past few days by the Nigerian military, there are assurances that election will hold. You see, one thing with our electoral law is that if election could hold in 90% of Nigeria,
that means
election has held. Even if there is one state where election could not hold, it doesn't stop the new president from emerging. And it's hardly possible that there won't be election statewide. Even in Borno, at the peak of insurgency in 2011, in 2015, in 2019, elections held. And that's when bombs were going off like firecrackers. We have suicide bombing. Now we are hearing of less of suicide bombing. What we hear now is abductions and kidnapping. So I believe election will hold. It may just be the usual suspect postponement, for as long as I can remember, Nigerian election get postponed either for a few days or few weeks, but it usually hold as at when scheduled. So, but INEC exonerating his staff over
That's
this.
the major story.
That's a major story.
Yes.
I don't know what the full story has not been told of how those PVCs.
I've seen one in bush somewhere, dug up. I've seen on streets, and people are asking questions. But INEC is saying, see, our staff cannot be responsible because we have internal mechanism in place.
So who stole and went to dump those? Was there a burglary in INEC safe? How did those? I mean, there's that. I give benefit of doubt to INEC staff that they will not do this. But if it's the work of a burglar, then INEC needs to let us know. We have not heard of any burglary in Rivers, and I think this is still happening in Rivers. So how come in the whole southeast where they've been asking us, we are not told that they take PVCs or that they take vehicles? They were just burning them down. So who could have been responsible? So INEC still owes us explanation on why those PVCs, because now our own advocacy at level civil society and media is that people should go and collect their PVC. If PVCs are now getting dumped and buried in Bulgaria, different places, dumped in the bush, how will those owners be able to collect their PVC? That means they have been disenfranchised. Exactly. So it just doesn't look good. It's not a very good optics for Independent National Electoral Commission. They need to come out clean. If it's not their staff, who then did it? Was there burglary? Were the PVC the prime target, or were there other things missing, like the BBC, the registration?
The voter registration. Rivers, yes.
And there are other things like that missing.
And there was an incident in Lagos recently where hoodlums stormed a registration center, took away
the machine,
registration machine.
So these are the challenges that everybody has been saying, is because even if you go electronic voting, those who want to undermine our democracy might still set the storehouse of INEC.
Nothing is full.
They can still they can still destroy. We have seen that happen with smart card reader. Over 4,000 smart card readers were burned in INEC store in Anambra ahead of 2019 general elections. So this is the handiwork of anti-democratic elements. But INEC still needs to give us explanation.
And that's the bottom line. You actually spoke my mind. When I saw the story, I said, okay, exonerating your staff isn't enough. Yes. Because with the number of PVC I've seen, dumped in places, that massive number cannot be gotten anywhere except
in the storehouses of
INEC store.
Yes.
So these are, probably uncollected PVCs over time.
But even if they are uncollected, unless they are certified dead, you cannot discard them in such
manner. So INEC has not been managing
that collection and distribution very well. Yeah.
My wife has not gotten a PVC for over maybe 3 years.
Wow.
I can't trace mine. They keep telling you story. See, all this registration razzmatazz, I don't believe in it. Oh, come and register, you get it before election. These are new registration. What about
imagine, look at the image.
These are the ones destroyed now. Maybe
doing this one are not PVCs. They are not. They are old PVCs.
Okay.
This one is like temporary voters card that was issued to us ahead of 2015 general election. But the one on this side, the one like
destroyed,
the one that is to this side. By my right, I think they are the PVCs. They are the actual permanent voters card. But these other ones are not the PVCs. These are just laminated temporary voters card. But whatever they are, INEC owes us explanation as to even if it were to dispose the old ones. There were PVCs before 2011.
Yes.
The 2006 one where you have Mike Tyson and all of that. Even if INEC were to dispose it shouldn't be done in this way that you dig ground and bury it there. So INEC needs to tell us this doesn't look like the permanent voters card that I have. From distance, it doesn't look. But whatever it is, INEC needs to come out clean on this issue. Let us know, was it activities of burglars, activities of arsonists? How secure are the ones that are still in the vault of INEC? Do they need to take it to CBN or police headquarters for safety and security and all of that? So it's something that is disheartening, but I think INEC needs to manage this better than currently.
Exactly. Ahead of the 2023 general
Exactly.
election for credibility purpose.
For credibility. Because before you know it, people will start reading political meanings to it. If it happens in Southeast, they say, it's because they don't want to be to win. If it happens in the Southwest, they want to undermine Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's. So all manner of political permutations and
Nigeria is a very delicate.
No, we suffered distrust. That's our biggest challenge. We don't trust system.
Exactly. 2 days ago, I was talking to a national commissioner in the National Population Commission. We were talking about the forthcoming 2023 next year. Population
April,
housing
April 2020.
And I was telling you, my brother, we ought to have done this earlier than now, but for many reasons, COVID-19 funding and the rest of them, and we cannot conduct the exercise before 2023 election. I said, why? He said, when we do that, they say, it is to give electoral advantage to certain people.
Yeah,
when you begin to say north or south is higher in number, they will say you are preparing ground for. They say so. They have to wait till after the elections. They now do their own. But what they are doing is to at least have a reliable data for national planning, for sustainable development. And nobody, is talking about.
In fact, if I'm to buttress what you said, did you know the cost of distrust to Nigerian election? Did you know that we have Nigerian printer missing who is printing our currency?
Yes.
But INEC dare not go and print sensitive election materials there. Otherwise, APC will accuse PDP. PDP will say, they have... And it's perception issue. Even with all the color coding, people still believe that the election results are written and announced, that it's not reflecting the will of the people. So that's why the price of distrust, the social cost is very, very huge.
All right, we need to move away from that interesting story on the front page of Leadership this morning to our sister publication, the business newspaper, National Economy. And of course, on the front page of National Economy this morning, not too palatable story. Nigeria heads towards third economic recession in 7 years. Nigeria heads towards third economic recession in 7 years. Economists raise concern over debt servicing exceeding revenue, urge federal government to tackle insecurity, remove petrol subsidy, and these are the teething issues. Insecurity, the monster called petrol subsidy has refused to go. Nobody has the courage to do away with this.
It's a political hierarchy if you remove subsidy ahead of 2023 elections. APC should just kiss the presidency goodbye if he does. That's it.
Why it was out of the presidency, it was saying.
Yeah, even part of the reason why people voted out Goodluck Jonathan was what he did on January 1, 2012, when people traveled for Christmas, New Year, and
it was a wrong time.
It was a wrong timing to increase. People were stranded wherever they were. So now, in this year, we are spending 4 trillion to subsidize. In next year, we are preparing 6.42 trillion to subsidize. But they cannot find 1.2 trillion to solve ASU's problem. Yami said they cannot go and borrow for ASU, but they can borrow for them. But away from that, I do not see anything that is shocking with this news that Nigeria is heading towards economic recession, the third in 7 years. The indices are there. You know why? What is our productivity level? Many businesses are divesting from Nigeria now.
Exactly.
Because of issue of ExxonMobil now has divested.
It's causing problem already.
Of course, now it will cause problem. So they even these other ones, Jeep and all of them, many of them are divesting because of the mismanagement of Petroleum Industry Act. That act, which is also associated with the issue of petroleum subsidy, government supposed to have removed subsidy the moment the president signed that act into law, but they cannot do it for political reason. It's about political survival now. But look at the issue of insecurity. That is even number one negative thing that is impacting on our economic recovery plan. Because, like I said on a radio program in Ibadan last week, I was asked the question, what's responsible for our economic challenge? And I said it's very obvious for us to see. One, we have infrastructural challenge, and then we have high level of insecurity. Okay, look at food security. People who are producing food for us have been chased away from farms as a result of banditry and abduction. So how will you not rely on food import? When you rely on food import, the paltry foreign exchange you have to use it to pay to import rice, to import other wheat and all of that. That affects the economy. Two, look at infrastructure. The state of infrastructure. 2 days ago, I think the Okada riders staged a protest along the airport road, asking government, and I've weighed in on this also. You want to ban Okada, fine, because of insecurity. What are the alternatives? How do farmers reach their farmlands in very hard to reach environment? How would they, if you ban the use of Okada? How would many people who are living in hard to reach environments where there are no paved roads, where the roads are terribly bad, how would they get home? To get off from home to their offices with ease, because it's not every area of Nigeria that is accessible to vehicles. So you need to think this through. But the impact of insecurity, look, somebody was talking of war economy. Professor Jibrin Ibrahim was talking of war economy. Bandits are now having a bank of their own. Billions of naira that they are raking in from banditry, from abduction, and that is not a good object for this
violence economy.
Whether you call it war or violence economy, but that's the motivation now. That if you are able to wield your gun very well, you can enough to start your own bank. And there is also fear that some of the banks are going under. In fact, I read it in one of the papers that what the money deposit banks have borrowed from CBN is humongous to stay afloat. And now we are also told that the CBN has been indulging in ways and means, which is printing of currency. Where I don't want to say illegally printing, but at least printing to augment, and that is why our inflationary rate is going high. So it's a spiral effect. Insecurity is even impacting on the infrastructural development. And just in one of the dailies today, they said NRC has caught, Nigeria Railway Corporation has caught the Lagos Ibadan, commercial train by about 70% because they couldn't source diesel. And this is why I've said it's not a rocket science. Fix the refineries or sell them off. But you head on to this one refinery, you're waiting for Dangote, and then you spend $1.5 billion to revive so-called Port Harcourt refinery. We have not been updated. Where are we with that exercise? which they told us will end, that the turnaround maintenance will be completed by the end of this year. If it's completed and Dangote refinery comes on stream, we may see an end to this issue of subsidy regime. But there is also the aspect of vandalism. Look, why should we need to truck refined petroleum products from Apapa to Makurdi, from Apapa to Sokoto, from Apapa to Abuja?
We can employ the pipelines.
But the pipelines have been vandalized.
They are not safe.
They are not safe. Some bad eggs, some undesirable elements in Nigeria are continually vandalizing the pipelines. Meanwhile, these products, there are pipelines left for it to come to Suleja. There's a NNPC depot in Suleja. There's one in Delta. There's one in Mosimi in Ogun State. There are so many of them. But when the pipelines have been vandalized, you can't channel products through them because of this illegal bunkering that some of our competitors are engaging in. That has created. I wrote in my column in the Punch a couple of years ago. I took on the Minister of Information and Culture when he said, "Is it about 30 billion naira every year being spent on mending of vandalized pipelines?" About 20 or 30 billion every year.
They give security contract to some
militants in the Niger Delta. Still, that has not made our. So the many ways by which the economy of Nigeria is hemorrhaging cannot but lead us to recession because we are not producing enough.
Now, is this avoidable? We heard
infrastructure development, it impacts also on productivity, it impacts on the practice of agriculture, it impacts on even trading and commerce. Everything.
Commerce and economy. Well, that's a nice one there. I hope those concerned will listen and do the needful. We need to go on a short break. When we come back, we shall be talking politics and security as well. Don't go away. I'll be back shortly.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Welcome back. It's still inside Nigeria for Wednesday morning, August 10, 2022. And of course, I'm still with our guest analyst, Jide Ojo. Jide Ojo is an Abuja-based public affairs analyst and a TV host who has been helping us to dissect the front pages. Now, let's go to the third newspaper on our menu this morning. We shall be looking at the THISDAY newspaper. What do we have on the front page of THISDAY this morning? It's security. Defense headquarters. We have arrested suspect of our Catholic Church attack. Rules out use of mercenaries in fight against terrorists. Insists Abuja is safe. Akeredolu confirmed arrest of 5 suspected church attackers. Afenifere welcomes development. We have arrested suspect of our Catholic Church attack, according to the defense headquarters here in Abuja. I don't know, what's your reaction to this development?
It's a welcome development, and I'm happy that at least, even if the lives of the 46 people murdered in cold blood during that ill-fated Sunday could not be brought back, at least this will gladden the hearts of family members who are alive to say, okay, maybe justice will eventually be served. 5, and they said they are still on the trail of others who may have absconded, but it's heartwarming that in 3 months, this mystery is getting unraveled, because what we yet to know is whether it's actually ISWAP, Islamic State West African Province, that did it, as was said at a security meeting with the president some time ago, or whether this just one chance, or maybe it's bandits. But whatever is the motive, it's just so unfortunate that 46 lives were lost in cold blood on June 5, 2020. So these are people who just went to worship God in the beach of His Holiness, and they were martyred by these heinous criminals. But let's give kudos to Defense Headquarters. I feel very strongly this is actually supposed to have been done by the police. Military by training and orientation are not for internal.
I think it's the combination of all security agencies.
If it's a joint task force, well, it's heartwarming. But at least it's the chief of defense staff that is saying they're arrested, and the governor confirming 5. Yorubas will say whether you tie wrapper to the waist or you tie waist to wrapper. The most important thing is for
to cover
your body to cover your nakedness. So, irrespective of whether it's the police or army or DSS or even civil defense that effect the arrest, the most important thing is that those people have been caught. But we do hope that they will have their case in, they will face music, they will be charged to court early enough, and then the justice will be meted out. Because what is worrisome to me, Bode, is that we have seen time and again, Kabiru Sokoto, who masterminded the Madala attack on another Catholic church, for that matter, way back in 2010, was among those allegedly let loose in the Kuje prison jailbreak that happened last month.
And the
And
authority did not deem it fit to even address Nigerians on that. Whether, oh, he's not there, oh, he's there.
you see, that's why people are having their worries.
And
you
that
know?
reminds, somebody raised an issue this morning while driving here on the radio program that, there was this list released by the National or Nigeria Correctional Service that 69 terror suspects escaped from the Kuje facility. So there is this one name the person cited, and the name was also mentioned in Ondo as one of the mastermind. The guy was now saying, how come somebody in prison at the same time responsible for an attack in Ondo? So is it that most of these things, they just want us to calm down, they want to calm Fred now, or in reality, real people responsible were the ones arrested? And I don't know whether Nigerians will believe or not. Because we expected them to be paraded.
Well, the chief of defense staff said the reason why they are not paraded is that they are still working on getting orders, and that investigation is still on. But whatever it is, that's why they say prevention is better than cure. If you guard if you guard yourself against being a victim, it's better than trying to solve murder puzzles. And it's not peculiar to Nigeria. Do you know that in US, I've read many cases of wrongful execution,
Yes.
wrongful arrest, wrongful
imprisonment.
imprisonment
After 30 years,
in US with all the technology and the sophistication. So it's not peculiar, but that is not an excuse to our military or the security agents to say because it happens in US. That I saw a footage of a policeman who within 3 months allegedly has arrested 67 people who plant cocaine and hard drug on them and said that they were caught just to be like a Jakuba, like our own Abakari. But eventually, at the end of the day, it was seen to be a fraud. And when he was eventually arrested, even in court, he was denied with all the graphic, because they have to plant camera in his police car, official car, and they were able to track his activity and saw that he actually had gotten as many as 67 people innocently jailed for crimes they didn't commit. In fact, 2 or 3 of his victims were people who were previously served jail time for drug addiction. So he just will pin another one on there as if is. So it also reminded me of our own Abba Kyari when I saw that footage. That could this be what Abba Kyari was also doing? That everybody was applauding and saying is a super core. And at the end of the day, the court has not pronounced him guilty, but at least prima facie case have been established against him to the extent that he's now in detention and again in Kuje prison as we speak. So most important thing is prevention is better than cure. Don't allow yourself to be martyred, all in the name of God will catch them. Even if the security agents catch them or God caught them, it doesn't replace the lives of those who are dead, because many of those who died were breadwinners in their families, and nobody is paying them compensation. I think Ashwat Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave them money. I think he gave them some money.
Yes, he was there.
Maybe 250 million.
Atiku also sent money.
But such money doesn't bring life. And we should prevent similar occurrences. I think that's what our Nigerian military and security agents are here to do, to take the battle to these people, put them on the run rather than being reactive. Look at the Abuja Kaduna train victim. I read somewhere today that those bandits are still threatening to kill off and sell off those whose family have not been able to raise ransom to come and take them. And we recall not too long ago of Greenfield students, 5 of whom were killed because their parents could not quickly raise ransom being demanded by bandits. This is not a very good optics. Look at what's showing on the TV. This is not a very good optics for us as a nation. Yes, it's not peculiar to Nigeria, but you be rest assured, all the incidents of mass shooting in US, the victims the perpetrators are usually caught, or they are even gunned down on that same day. So they don't get, you should think twice that if you go get involved in this kind of crime, you are ready to pay with your life, because that's what makes a difference. In our own case, we have been more reactive than being proactive.
Yeah,
and I think that's the challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are always reactive more than proactive. And I think security is about being proactive. You nip it in the bud. You don't even allow it to happen. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what intelligence gathering
It's
should
all
be
about.
all about. I mean, look at the Kuje Correctional Center we were attacked. If the deputy speaker could tell us that there were 44 security reports,
And the president is not
and
outraged. He's not outraged about it.
44 security reports saying that this place is about to be breached, and
Even
there was no reinforcement, there was nothing.
The Kaduna-based newspaper publisher who volunteered to negotiate between the terrorists who abducted the train passengers and their families also told me that if the terrorists told him that this is what they will do, they will start attacking national infrastructure.
Facility, yes.
Yes. And he told relevant security agencies, he said they didn't act until Kuje was attacked. And the Kuje attack looked like, see, we can't just give you your people. One of the demands of these people is to release our detained members.
Commanders.
Okay, so it's, I have this feeling that, we can't just give it to you like that.
Go
To
and take
Nigerians, it will look that we are
Uh-huh.
we are no longer government in place. Come and take it.
Come
Come and
and
take
take
them. No, because no resistance.
No resistance of any sort. And they didn't even burn down the place. They have all the time in the world. Otherwise, if they have burned down the place,
The
maybe
political
people like
people are there. They didn't
the
kill them.
political exposed persons,
They went to their own direction.
they just picked their
How
own
did they
people
know
and-
where their people were?
Exactly.
located? In a serious
And
national.
that is one leg of the issue. The second leg is that 44 security reports written to say
Ahead.
this place is about 44, and there was
efforts were wasted, money were wasted
lives were wasted. Because of-
to come up with the 44 report
yes,
before the attack.
that's what DSS are that just frustrated now, because
And somebody is not angered and resign and say, no, I can't continue.
remember this issue you raised, but the Governor El-Rufai, if you check his media interview after the train attack,
Yes.
he said they knew that was going to happen. He wrote 2 letters to Nigeria Railway Corporation
Exactly.
to suspend night operations.
Johnny, yeah,
He said
and-
they ignored it. He said they listen to these bandits when they are planning, and they pass the information to relevant security agencies.
Was that
but
not
they
enough
never-
to sack the
Exactly.
MD of the Nigerian Railway Corporation for endangering the life of Nigerians?
I said he said they know the locations of the
But
bandits.
the president,
He knows the location of the bandits. But El-Rufai talking, he said he knows they know, the security agents know the location of the bandits in the forest. They listen in on their plans, and they pass the information to relevant authorities. But he is surprised that these people are still reactive. They allow them to commit this havoc before going after them. When you could have taken, and if you know their location before they take hostage, you should have used the aerial superpower to go and level. Look at what US did in Afghanistan recently, just 2 weeks ago. Precise. Did you know that it was drone?
yes,
It was drone that was
family
used.
members were not wounded, nobody was affected.
In
And the
fact,
president came out to announce to the world, we have done this.
yes,
I authorized it, and it was successful.
he said they were even when they identified that the man was there, Al-Zarawi, they knew he was there. They monitored his movement. They knew he would come out in the evening to take rest in the balcony. They didn't send one soldier. It was a drone that they used in that. He said the White House press secretary, when I watched his interview, he said when they were planning the operation, they even have to evaluate each of the weapons they were supposed to use. And that the President Biden said, look, I don't want collateral damage. I don't want the building collapsing. I don't want any innocent person wounded, let alone that. Only this man I want to take. Not even his wife, not even his child, not even any neighbor. They just knew the time it would come out. They were so precise. They said razor blade precision. They took the guy out. So if we know where the bandits are in the forest,
here we keep lying.
and you said you have gotten the 12 super Tucano and all of that, and these people, you listen in on their conversation, their security reports on their location, and you cannot take them out. Then this government is weak.
You know, interestingly, at about the same day, President Joe Biden was announcing the success of that covert operation in Afghanistan. That was about the same time Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna State was actually exposing President Muhammadu Buhari.
That he wasn't
that Buhari was not even aware that terrorists threatened to abduct him. 2 days after, millions of Nigerians had watched the clip on social media. These are the clarities. And
so this is why many a time people have their doubts about sincerity of government.
Of course, I have my doubts.
This insurgency.
I have my doubts too, because this is not ordinary any longer. And we need to move away from that and go to the last newspaper on our menu this morning, and that is the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch this morning, Wike's romance with Tinubu's men rattles Amechi's base. Wike's romance with Tinubu's men rattles Amechi's base. Wike, desperate for alliance with Tinubu, wants protection after 2023, according to the Rivers State chapter of the APC. Amechi, unhappy about Abe's closeness to Tinubu, says ex-minister's associate. Rivers governor free to join APC, according to Adebayo Shitu, former Minister of Communication. Wike, Atiku's loyalist trade blame. Well, everything Wike.
I don't.
This one is not happy with this. This one is not happy with this. You know, two interesting riders to this Punch list story. Amechi unhappy about Abe's closeness to Tinubu, and Wike's romance with Tinubu's men also rattles Amechi's base.
Yes, now because there are so many enemies. Don't forget, Wike was a chief of staff to Rotimi Amechi during his governorship.
Does Wike have any capital to take to APC?
Well, he does.
Because somebody described the governor as suffering from exaggerated, or is it overbloated or exaggerated self-importance?
Self-worth.
Self-worth. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
See, in the game of politics, you need all shades of people. So, he has his
everyone
own.
Is important.
Yeah, everyone is important. And, they are looking for 25%.
Because of time, let's not go into all these intrigues and the rest. Let's just go straight to the point. Does Wike have a case against Atiku? Wike contested the APC presidential primary against Atiku. Wike lost in a transparent election watched by Nigeria. So what is the problem of Rivers governor against Atiku?
Well,
if every other aspirant that lost in the primary
is embittered by the two serial losses.
Okay.
One, he lost the presidential ticket. Secondly, he also lost the vice presidential.
So he will disagree with you. He has been saying he had never wanted to be vice president. He has never wanted to be. He's not interested.
That's a lie.
So why?
He was interested. Otherwise, his anger rose exponentially after Okowa was picked ahead of him.
Yeah.
So he could not in good conscience tell anybody and believe that he would be believed that he wasn't interested in the vice presidential slot. And don't forget, that's what Autumn even said, that the committee of 17 that was set up, 14 were for Wike, 3 were for Okowa, and Atiku chose Okowa ahead of Wike.
Is that an offense? Was that an offense?
No, wait. He felt this self-worth or self-entitlement is part of it. But let's come back to Rivers. The unending feud between Wike and Amechi and Abe. Magnus Abe has defected from APC
to SDP. In fact, he is the governorship candidate
of SDP.
He also wanted to be governor.
Well,
he's always been contesting. He wanted to be governor.
So, if he's close to Tinubu, he knows why he's close to Tinubu. He needs the support. He needs the funds. And to upstage a Wike,
So with Tinubu now fund an Abe in SDP
it's not important
against his own party's candidate APC in Rivers.
Because his own party candidate may not be the ideal that
that's anti-party.
Is it today that, let me shock you, Kenya had their election yesterday.
Yes.
The president, the outgoing president, Uhuru Kenyatta, was opposing the leader of opposition
against
his own vice deputy
William
president,
William
Ruto. So and then it happened in Liberia.
And that's interesting. That's democracy. But here, people will not allow it.
That's the anti-party you talk about. But you see, the enemy within is more dangerous. Wike may not leave PDP, but may undermine PDP.
Rock the boat.
It may undermine PDP's success. And that's the most dangerous people to be. If he has left, his influence on the party will weaken.
But if he
doesn't leave and it becomes a thorn in the flesh of the party, they don't care. I've seen it happen. Remember the case of the wife of former national chairman of PDP, Ahmadu Ali.
Yeah, Mrs. Miriam
who went and contested for senatorial election
in Delta. Yes.
They denied is it James Manager the ticket?
Yes.
Then Ibori said, Manager, come to Accord. Manager won under Accord party, but under 6 months, he defected back to.
It was a game plan.
It was a game plan. What they wanted to do with, okay, don't fight the chairman. His wife.
I think there was even a physical combat over that ticket that year.
Well, I don't know whether there was physical.
There was a physical combat.
I know that, so sometimes it's a permutation. That, okay, we will support you, but you will defect back to our party. So politicians plan all manner of intrigues. But it's interesting now there's three forces plaguing Rivers State. Amici camp, Wike camp, and Abe camp.
It's too much.
And now we don't know who will be in a pole position to win. Because don't forget the PDP governorship candidate in Rivers is under investigation by EFCC for.
I was going to even talk about Wike himself. That is making a lot of demand on the PDP presidential.
That's why the insinuation that he was seeking protection.
Exactly.
Counseling because
the governorship primary election was not free and fair. Wike made a civil servant, the state accountant general, resign and coronated him as the PDP candidate against the people that have been following him for the past 8 years. Felix Obua, Lee Meba, Austin Opara, former deputy speaker.
What of even
Sergeant Awuse, plenty loyal to him. OCJ Okocha, senior lawyer, SAN. So I don't know what is lacking in Rivers. He wants from outside Rivers. For me, it's asking for too much.
That's the nature and character of politics. But let's see what will happen eventually in Rivers. Remember APC got his fingers burnt in 2019 where he was not allowed to field candidates. And you see the interest that played out then. Amechi now supported NAAC candidate to scuttle PDP's victory. They want to package the guy so that eventually after he may have won with the resources they
I think Amechi also has his own blame, the dictatorial tendencies of saying, no, I'm the leader in Rivers, this is the candidate this year.
I'm not even doing
he has been circulating the candidatorship. Dakuku was there for 2 times or what?
He's not supporting Dakuku Peter side again.
He has changed to Prince.
He has changed to Princeway, Tonye Princeway. And Tonye is said not to be popular within the APC community in Rivers. So all manner of things. And that's why Abe may reap from the feud.
But Abe, the structure, the SDP structure might not be there. No, yes, it's popular as a person, but you need a party structure.
No, but when the two main dominant parties are at loggerheads, he has the name recognition.
No, Wike will not allow the power to slip from his anointed godson.
Anyway, March 11.
They keep saying he has the money, he's giving out money, he has money, he has everything.
But one thing that goes for Wike is his infrastructural development.
He has to work for the people.
Let's give him kudos for that. He may have personality issues.
Yes.
And everybody does have that.
He has worked for.
But at least in terms of infrastructural development.
Even though, despite the work, Rivers people are shouting, people in opposition are shouting that their money is being
What's the work
It's going
of
outside rivers.
What's the work of opposition if it's not to cry foul? They want to do it.
Okay.
But
Amechi,
whichever way it
Amechi.
is, it's an interesting state to watch.
2023 general election will be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
If God will hear our prayer, take away insecurity, we have a lot of drama to watch.
Always
surprises,
always upsets and surprises.
Offset, exactly. Exactly.
It's
Remember a few days ago, the news broke that the nephew of the president representing the president federal constituency in the National Assembly, Muhammad Fatu, defected
to
from the APC.
PDP.
He has not made up his mind, but he has led the APC yet. He has not made up his mind.
Yeah.
Where he's going.
But
Over primary election.
I'm not surprised.
The president kept mum.
No, wait, I'm not surprised. Did you know what happened under CPC?
Same thing.
Yes, now it's the spillover then. Because CPC that everybody thought was the third force as at that time, they just managed to have only Nasarawa State.
So
the PDP, the CPC lost even in Buhari's home state of the Katsina.
Exactly.
Because of issue of mismanaging
the
parties.
The president is a member of APC, but it seems he's not a party man. So, and this,
the senator representing the president's
Ahmed Babaketa is a member of the PDP.
PDP.
His
nephew has dumped.
Yes, and he's likely going to PDP. It has never happened. So all this might also affect the party's presidential candidate, because you need the politics too. There must be politics. The president is not willing to do politics. So, and that's also good on another hand.
It's not the president
allowing free and fair election.
It should not be the president you blame. Blame the governor and the party leadership in the state. You see, the president cannot be too busy with national affairs. Instead, you have to be now going to settle feud in your own state. How many days does he spend in Katsina? It's the governor that he should have called. It's the governor.
He's not talking like a politician. Talk, give directives.
So
give orders.
I think it's the Masari and the APC chairman in the state that should have done the fence mending to stop the hemorrhaging of APC in there. And you know, a lot of things is happening. There are those who also believe that the choice of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was just done to placate the Southwest, that they actually would not mobilize the North to support him for victory because they want one of their own to succeed. That's the conspiracy theory.
Also another school of thought that said, the Northwest also wanted the vice presidency,
and because they didn't
Northeast.
get it, they went to Northeast. So all manner of things, but I think it should be a lot of fence mending that it should be done ahead of 2023.
We keep our fingers crossed and see how events pan out. Many thanks to our guest analyst today, Jide Ojo, an Abuja-based public affairs analyst and a TV host, for coming on the show. We hope to see you next Wednesday, God willing.
Inshallah. May God keep us safe and good.
Inshallah, God's willing. Yeah. All right, my name remains Body Boy. It's bye from here for now. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.